Okay, well, first and foremost, how did you guys get involved with the Housecore Horror Film and Music Festival?
Good question. Toddy?
I don't know, we just kind of got put on it.
You just got put on?
We actually played with I Hate God.
Yes.
In Melbourne it's called Cherry Fest.
Uh-huh.
At a little bar called Cherry Bar on ACDC Lane in Melbourne. And we got in touch, we sort of got friendly with the I Hate God dudes, which in turn forwarded us on to Phil and Kate.
Right.
And then when we were over here through March and April, we stayed at their joint and so forth, and both of them really dig our shit, and here we are.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's the...
Cool. So how is the tour going overall?
Great, this is the last show.
This is the last show, and then
good
back to Australia.
Yeah,
well,
back to Australia, got a few shows there. We're there for a month, and then we're back here to do the West Coast with Down.
Yeah, with Down and Orange Goblin, and Blast.
Right. Yeah. Wow, that's fantastic.
That's pretty fucking exciting.
So when you guys go back, are you going to be working on any new material, going back into the studio, or...?
We just spent a month in Vermont, actually, in a barn, on a farm.
Nice.
Vermont, cranking out 10 new ditties.
Yeah.
Went down to Greenville and demoed them and shit. And so we just got some shit to polish up.
Yeah, it's really just a month off. We got like 6 shows in Australia.
Wow.
We'll probably jam a bit because when we do the Down tour, we'll do that, and then we're going to stay over and record.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much it's pretty well ready to go.
Well, one of my main questions was, you guys really have become known for having that comedy aspect to a lot of your videos and that very humoristic approach to your music. Like, where did that come from? Like, was that...
Just being fucking spastics. Basically.
Unbridled fuckwittery, unleashed buffoonery. Australian style.
Australian style.
We just... it doesn't really come from anywhere. It's just living. I think it's just part of the... It's just, there's a lot of fucking shit slinging going on. A lot of shit slinging going on down under, so if you got to give it as you fucking get it. And,
or if you want a 2-word answer for that question, fucking Australia.
There you go.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But we just like to have a good time. I mean, if you're on the road for any sort of amount of time and you're not laughing, then you're in trouble.
Actually,
it's very true.
Even if you're on stage for any length of time, I'd much rather play 50 million wrong fucking notes and rock the fuck out and have cunts have a good time than do some note perfect fucking super techo spastic.
I'm with you, Swizzy. Super techo spasticity.
Yeah.
Well, not really. Anyway,
that's quite a term.
Yeah.
That's quite a term. Yeah. Well, do you really see that's probably a big difference between like the American metal scene versus the Australian metal scene? Is maybe a different point of view that's brought to the music as opposed to...
It probably is with us, but we're a bit of a different sort of fucking unit compared to most.
Metal's taken very, very serious. Don't get me wrong, we take metal seriously.
Right.
But we don't. We like to have a laugh at each other, and then that in turn goes onto the crowd, because at the end of the day we're all one fucking happy party, So,
yeah, absolutely.
So that happens, but a lot, like in regards to that being an Australian thing, I don't know if it is, because a lot of metalheads are metalheads at the end of the day, and a lot of them are fucking strict, and that's really fucking cool too.
Right.
But they're not, I don't think it's a different. There's lots of bands here that take the piss as well, and
there's a lot of similarities.
And have a good time.
Right. Absolutely.
Like War.
Right. There's a great example.
We just don't know. We're like War without the costumes.
Municipal waste.
War without the costumes.
Municipal waste. Maybe it's a Virginia thing. I don't know.
A Virginia thing.
A Richmond thing.
That's great. Well, as far as like going through and developing your music, what is your process? Like, when you guys actually go into the studio and you start working on new music, like what is your process of developing new concepts and songs?
In writing songs?
Writing songs.
I suppose we all sort of come into the room with different ideas. Usually someone will come into the room with sort of like an 70 to 80%. Written tune, and share it.
Right.
Toddy will put some fucking drums to it, and then we'll restructure, pull it apart, and get something we're happy with. So usually it's usually a pretty quick process, though. Like,
Right.
Yeah. As you can probably hear.
I mean, the 4 weeks in Vermont, we just kind of, like Ari had a bunch of ideas and Slats had a couple, Squiz had a couple,
Yeah.
Layden chucked in a song, and then we just took it from there.
So how did you guys end up in a barn recording?
Good question.
Well,
Just woke up there.
Well,
This looks good.
The first gig of the tour was in Greenville at this
Greenfield.
Greenfield.
Greenfield,
Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah.
At this RPM festival. And,
But before that, when we were here through March, April, we played with a band called Vaporizer from Vermont, and Stu Graham Brooks, who plays in a band called Barishi, who are fucking awesome. Check them out.
Okay.
Barishi were playing at this festival that Squizzy's talking about.
the RPM festival.
Yeah.
But yeah, Graham Brooks, who's in Barishi, was filling in with Vaporizer, so we got really pally with those guys. Graham's a top lad. And the dude who put on the show has a fucking studio and a cool setup at his place, and
Yeah.
I don't know. We just wanted somewhere to fucking.
It was a pretty drunk conversation. We just got there. We pretty much drove up from New York. Got to this RPM fest, and Graham's like, we said to him, because we're always gonna have this month in between tours through September, and we said to him we're considering calling the Vaporizer dudes up to possibly have somewhere to jam, you know. And he's like,
Right.
oh yeah, you know, like pissed. Yeah, no, my parents have got a farm down the south of Vermont. Yeah, I'm sure you can jam there. So yeah, cool. And then I don't think he remembered the conversation the next day. And Youngie, a singer, he pretty much got onto him straight away. Like the next day, he's like, so how about that farm, man? Are we cool to set up?
Cool to talk.
And he's like, oh. And then he spoke to his oldies, and then a week later, so yeah, you know, come on up.
Yeah.
And we pretty much set up. Then the first day we jammed for about 6 hours. Immediately the next day got called into the house for a meeting, saying,
wow.
hey, look, like it's cool, we dig it, but it's probably a bit much. So maybe
Scaring
if we
the
can cut
farm
it down
animals.
to if we can cut it down to maybe 3 hours. And then they were really fucking cool.
Oh,
like
that's
really
good.
hospitable. We were there every day.
Wow.
Steph and Marshall, like even they put us up, cooked fucking sick meals.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a real comfortable environment.
Are there any funny stories from that time? Like working in the barn, like any anecdotes?
No, it was serious.
It was totally serious.
It was damnly serious. I don't know, whatever.
There's lots of death metal goats. There's lots of farts and stuff. Squizzy probably sharted once or twice. I don't know.
There was heaps of shit. We're just constantly laughing, so nothing really stands out.
Sounds like a great time.
Yeah, no, we definitely have a ball.
So going forward, like after this and going back to Australia, what else would you like our readers to know about what's coming up, what you guys are working on?
New album next year, more tours, probably a lot more in the US.
Yeah, so we're coming back in December. We're doing that, like what Toddy said before, we're coming back in December, touring with Down and Orange Goblin and Blast.
Yes.
And we're really looking to get this album out around March or April or something. And then, come back.
Fantastic.
Hopefully get out to Europe as well. Hopefully you got some listeners out there.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure you do.
Of course we do.
And we haven't been to Europe yet, so that's a pretty important goal for us to achieve.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think I'll open up a lot of good times too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, in the immediate future, come back in December.
Fantastic.
And then releasing and hopefully coming back to another national here and going to Europe as well,
Fantastic.
So,
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time for this interview. It's been
Absolutely.
an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to seeing the show.
Cool.
Hell yeah.
So I've got an off-the-record question. What do you think of Lone Star? The beer.
Oh, it's alright, yeah. I like camouflage for deer hunting. So we just found out.
Special
National Beer
edition.
Texas, man.
Yeah. The national beer. It's like that.
National beer, I like it.
It's like that L&W or whatever from New Zealand. World famous in New Zealand.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Like
National
soft
Prize
drink.
from Tassie.
Fuck yeah, national prize. I've been pretty disappointed. Actually, at Beta's pretty good. That's Louisiana.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's a
good
whole
one.
nother world. Louisiana.
We're gonna be there next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What's on down there?
Going on is 2 big Vampire Masquerade events that are
Oh,
happening
yeah.
on
Yeah.
Halloween.
Cool, of course.
Yep, gonna hang out with
fuck,
Anne
that'd
Rice
be
and
cool.
a bunch of crazy vampires. So
Good one.
should
Oh,
be
really?
a trip. Oh yeah, should be interesting.
Fuck it. Well, thank you very
Yeah,
much.
absolutely.
Cheers, guys.
Should we guys see?